podcasters, welcome to Off. We are two sisters that are old, fat, and fasting. I'm Lori.
And I'm Krista. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about the things that you can put in coffee while you're fasting. We have talked before about how, in its purest form, fasting basically means not eating. Right? Not basically. It does mean not eating. If you're not eating, you're fasting. But you can drink things. There are things you can drink while you're fasting and not break your fast. Thankfully, one of those is coffee, because so many of us love coffee. Ideally, you would drink your coffee black. So you don't put any sweetener in it. You don't put any cream or anything else in it. You just drink it black. But for a lot of people, which I think Lori is one of those people,
Very much so.
They just can't do black coffee. So, Dr. Fung is sort of the guy we always go to because he has the most experience. He has tons of research and experience with fasting.
He's the guru.
And Dr. Fung says, if the difference between you sticking with fasting and you not sticking with fasting is putting something in your coffee, then here's a few things you can put in your coffee. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Did you want to go through your list or do you want me to do it?
I can go through my list.
Okay.
I'll go through my list and then I'll put something on the website that you can go and look at because I'm not going to put a thumbnail up at the end of this video for everybody to read for 3 minutes. So I'll pop it up at the end and put a link to go and study it. One thing that was in the Life in the Fasting Lane book, I just had it, don't know where it went, is that one, it's a great lunch substitute, but it says it's best black. You can have up to 1 to 2 tablespoons of fat. And the fats they listed were heavy cream, half and half, whole milk, unsweetened coconut milk, unsweetened almond milk, butter or ghee, MCT oil or coconut oil, and no sugar, real or fake. And it said that sweetness can trigger hunger. And that reminded us that losing weight is on page 142. It says it's about controlling hunger, not calories.
Right. I was going to talk about that. So as far as the sweeteners, they do say not artificial or natural. So don't do your stevia, don't do your agave nectar, don't do any of that stuff. And the reason is because in some people it raises insulin and some people it doesn't. And one of the keys to successful weight loss, especially fat loss with fasting, is keeping your insulin and your blood sugar low. So it's one of those things, those sweeteners affect some people and they don't. So to be on the safe side, avoid them. And also with some people, it will trigger, like I've talked about this before, there are certain things, and in an episode we just recorded the other day, I couldn't remember what it was. There are some things that if they just taste sweet, even if they're don't have sugar in them, it makes me crave sugar stuff.
Right.
And what I was thinking of then was cream cheese. That's what I was trying to remember the other day. So cream cheese is sweet enough that it makes me want something I shouldn't eat.
And I could eat that with a spoon.
I know. And I think we've talked about raisins before. Can be one for you.
Yeah, we'll eat if we get a sweet tooth, we'll eat like a tablespoon of raisins.
Yeah. So if you can stick to a tablespoon of raisins.
Yeah.
And the studies are mixed on whether or not it triggers those cravings in people. The studies that I've seen show that it doesn't, but what they've done in those studies is they give it in a pill form, right? So you don't taste.
You don't get,
sweetness.
yeah.
So the theory is that it's the actual sweet taste that makes you crave stuff that you shouldn't have.
Okay.
And like I said, or like Lori said, the key to losing fat with fasting is to keep yourself in ketosis, right? And to do that, you've got to keep your insulin low. So all those things that she mentioned that you can put in your coffee, yes, they have calories. Yes, they have fat. But with fasting, those aren't the things we're concerned with,
That's right.
right? The things we're concerned with is keeping that insulin and that blood sugar low. So that's why it's okay to add those things.
And you're more sciencey than me on this, but that's because when you're fasting, your body eats the fat.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also the reason we suggest low carb
Yes.
eating,
Good
because
God.
that keeps you in ketosis.
Keep
too.
it under 10 carbs a day.
Yeah. Somewhere on here, I had something else I was going to talk about. Oh, there's some other things that Lori and I both, well, until this morning, I couldn't say Lori and I both, but now I can say Lori and I both add to our coffee, which is like things like cinnamon or
Mhm.
vanilla, or I would think you could add any kind of, so you can do vanilla extract. You can get almond extract. I would
Yep.
think you could add that.
Yeah.
As long as anything that doesn't have a sweetener in it, you can use to flavor your coffee.
Right.
So,
And I know it was long before fasting. It was years and years and years ago. I used to put sugar and cream in my coffee, and I dropped sugar in it. Some people think they can't do it, but I'm serious. Do it for like a week and it's gone. It's just done. It's like quitting anything that, like smoking. I quit smoking.
Yeah.
The cravings stop.
yeah, it really does. And I
Yeah.
feel like you and I have done a couple of other diets in the past, and I'm thinking specifically about Dukin. That first week of Dukin, you crave things a lot, but if you can get past like those first 2 or 3 days,
It's all
that
gone.
starts to go away.
Yeah.
Oh, and the only other thing I was going to say is, because coffee has caffeine in it, some people are really sensitive to caffeine, and you just have to be mindful of whether you're fasting or not. Is it going to affect your sleep that night? Things like that. So, some people, when they start fasting, they drink more coffee than they used to, because it also helps keep them full and energized. So that's another reason coffee is good when you're fasting, because it gives you that energy.
Yeah.
So if you start drinking more coffee while you're fasting, just pay attention to if it's affecting your sleep at night too.
And my memory is so bad. I can't remember if we said earlier in this episode or not. I know I had it written down, but I don't know if I said it you're supposed to have 2 cups of water for every 1 cup of coffee.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that again, because I also meant to mention that, that's because it can dehydrate you. And we've talked in a couple of other episodes about making sure you stay hydrated while you're fasting.
Yeah.
So I would say that's even a little more important if you do drink coffee. And one guideline that I mentioned before that my doctor told me was just pay attention to the color of your urine when you go to the bathroom. It should be, if you're hydrated, it should be like a pale yellow. If it's a dark yellow, then you probably need to drink more. Not probably. You do need to drink more water.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And I think that's it.
Yes. And I would say that
forgot?
the same thing, if you're not a coffee drinker, like our brother doesn't like coffee. He doesn't fast, but he doesn't like coffee. He likes tea. So the same
Oh,
rule
yeah.
applies if you're a tea drinker and not a coffee drinker.
Oh, yes, that's true.
I just thought
Yeah, because you can drink all the green tea you want. You can drink all the herbal tea you want.
all the black tea, whatever.
Yeah, just follow the same rules.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That'll wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
I know. I love short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you or talk to you next time.
Yep. Happy fasting.
Bye.